Hello everyone, my name is Shayo Max Adibite. I want to quickly drop something for you here about your child. I'm going to be very brief about it so I don't take your time. I want to talk about child development. Child development. Child development includes the mental, physical, social, and spiritual development of a child. Before you can say a child is well developed, he must have grown mentally, physically, socially, and spiritually. And listen, you don't concentrate on developing your child mentally and decide to make the other aspect of the development irrelevant. You don't build your child physically and maybe socially, and the child has nothing up there. Not mentally sound. And likewise, you don't consider only the spiritual aspects of the development and drop the other aspects aside. The development of a child must be total. If it's not total, then abuse has stepped in. I'll talk about the spiritual development of a child today. So, what is spiritual development? What exactly comes to your mind when you hear the word spiritual development? I know you have the answer, but I want you to hear this. Every child has a spiritual ability in him. Every child is born with a desire to be spiritual. How do I know this? Every man has a spirit, soul, and body. So is every child. Your child has a spirit, he has a soul, and a body which you relate with, of course. So this spirit in him craves development just as his body. He does not want to be left behind, but most of the time is neglected. In fact, is not always considered in the matter at all. An abuse is in place. It shouldn't be. If you are a parent that loves to see your girl look so beautiful, you love to see your boy look so good, please keep it up. It's very good. But don't forget, she has a spirit that must also be beautiful. He has a spirit that should also look good, well energized. So you don't start practicing child abuse ignorantly. Child abuse? Yes, child abuse. A child is either developed or abused. No child is in between. And when you're talking about a child's development, it should be total. It should be total. That is, it should be mental, physical, social, and spiritual. So if you have not been considering this before, it is time you change your mindset. And as you do so, God will help you. So, how do I develop my child's spirit? How do you develop your child's spirit? Feed him. You feed your child well, When she asks you for milk, you give her. When she says, I want to eat rice and fish, you give her. Why? You know that those foods contain nutrients that are good for the body. They aid our growth, they help her fight against disease. They give her energy. In fact, you make sure she eats balanced diets always, so that she can be mentally fit. She can be emotionally balanced. She can be mentally sound. So what about his spirit? He has a spirit that must be fed too. So you feed him too. You feed the spirit. And of course, not with the food that I mentioned earlier, but with spiritual food. Now, I want to quote some scriptures here. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 3, it says, and all ate the same spiritual food. So, there is spiritual food. 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 2 says, like newborn babies, long for the pure milk of the word, so that by it you may grow in respect to salvation. This pure milk of the word is definitely not the milk you feed her at home. It's a spiritual milk for spiritual growth. Now you know there is spiritual food to develop your child's spirit. So, what is this food? I know that's your next question, but I will stop here for today. But I will come your way again. So before then, don't forget, your child has a spirit that must not be left behind, that must not be neglected. His spirit must grow, his spirit must be developed. And there is a very good reason for this. So when I come your way again, I'll tell you why it is important that you develop your child's spirit. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.